Good afternoon, Miss Howe. Thank you for taking the opportunity to watch this message, and I hope that it meets your requirements. I'm used to being behind a pulpit and someone else doing the video. So I hope that this is up to the standards of what you desire. What I'm wanting to discuss today is the Housing First initiative. I found that information on endhomelessness.org. Now, I'm not good enough with a video to place that across the screen or anything like that. So my apologies for that. If you want the sources in APA format, just let me know, and I'll be glad to upload them to you. Endhomelessness.org. It is a publication dated April 20th of 2016 discussing the Housing First initiative. Housing First is a homeless assistance program that prioritizes providing permanent housing to people experiencing homelessness to serve as a platform so that they can pursue their personal goals and improve their quality of life. Now, that is a direct quote from Housing First at endhomelessness.org. The idea behind it is to go ahead and address the issue of homelessness first. Now, they have some statistics here that I would like to take just a moment and read to you. They are discussing, does Housing First work? Does this plan work? And they are saying that those in the Housing First model are more likely to remain stable than those who are simply given assistance, even mental health assistance. They said that there has been a long-term housing retention rate of 98%. I'm reading here, a long-term retention rate of 98%. Now, that is, of course, the best that they've had. They also cite statistics such as one study showed 75% and another study showed 91%. Now, these are statistics from endhomelessness.org Housing First initiative. Now, that being said, we need to understand that we need to look at the financial aspects of it. Another thing that they mention here is that there was an average cost savings on emergency services of $31,000. That's $31,545 per person participating in the Housing First program. So that is factoring in the cost of building these houses and helping the homeless, and then subtracting that cost from already established studies of what homelessness costs in terms of emergency room, in terms of police, in terms of all these other things that we've discussed. Now, that being said, one study on that, it comes from Eugene, Oregon. In Eugene, Oregon, there was a 6-year wait list for housing for people who were low income. That is a sin and a shame, in my opinion. A group of people from a Christian church got together with some other homeless groups to form a coalition. They established something called Opportunity Village. Opportunity Village. Now, you can find this on YouTube simply by looking up Opportunity Village, Eugene, Oregon. Now, basically what they did is they built small houses that were just large enough for people to lay down. An example would be, some of them are 8 by 8, 8 foot by 8 foot. Some of them are 8 foot by 10 feet. Okay? They were a place for them to secure their belongings, a place for them to lay down, a place for them to stay warm, a place for them to get out of the rain. They all have solar lights. They have a small solar panel at the top of the house so that it's in full access to daylight. And they have the kind of LED lights. They have LED light source in the little house based on the solar power, and it includes a battery. And that is enough to give them lights throughout the night. Now, what they did with it, the reason this is called Opportunity Village, is that they took land owned by the city of Eugene, Oregon. The city of Eugene, Oregon leased it to this homeless coalition for $1 a year. Then they built public restrooms, or maybe public is not the right word. It wasn't open to the public. It was open to the people of Opportunity Village. Co-housing restrooms. So in other words, they built nice facilities that flushed, that had running water, that had hot water for the showers. They even have wheelchair access. And they have them placed centrally located on either end of Opportunity Village. Now, in the center of Opportunity Village, they called it a yurt. It was a large round building with wheelchair access that has a community kitchen. Maybe I should have called them community restrooms, right? That has a community kitchen. This community kitchen is where they all come to eat. Churches provide meals at different times. They can take their food stamps and bring food there. They have community refrigerator, community freezer, community stoves, microwaves. They even have computers there. Now, in this community room, mental health people come and meet with them. Job search people come and meet with them. All sorts. You run the gamut of services that the homeless people need. They all come and meet with them in that community yurt, as they called it. Y-U-R-T, yurt. And they said that 29 units, including the 2 sets of restrooms, one on each end, and the community building, which provides electricity to the community building. Remember, they have solar in their individual buildings. They do have electricity in the restrooms. Running water, hot water, all these other amenities cost less than $100,000 to build the entire village. And that is an absolutely wonderful thing that they are doing. Now, you asked us on our end of week assignment to also discuss the other side. Well, I wrote one of my blogs, whatever you call it, that I did for you. I mentioned a gentleman named Elvis Summers in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, they have a huge homeless issue. What I saw called it a crisis, and it says it numbers in the tens of thousands. So, Elvis Summers crowdfunded. He raised, interestingly enough, $100,000 and began building tiny homes for the homeless. Interestingly enough, it's the exact same model, building-wise, as what they are using in Opportunity Village. It's 8 by 8, 8 by 10, solar panel on top, little battery attached to it, solar lights, a place where you can lock the door and you can secure your belongings. Now, that being said, Mr. Summers was not able to secure a coalition. He was not able to secure assistance from the city of Los Angeles, even though they declared it a crisis, even though they have budgeted $2 million. Again, $2 million to the homeless effort. Yet, they refused to work with him. They refused to do a coalition. And instead, he ended up finding private property to park these homes on. Now, that being said, some of them ended up on the street. Some of them ended up, and of all places, in parking places. They would pull them out onto the street, put them in a parking place, and lock the wheels. And the city of Los Angeles, this is so sad, people who now finally had a roof over their head to keep off the rain, to stay warm in the winter, to secure their belongings, to lay down at night and not be afraid. The city of Los Angeles picked them up with big dumpster trucks and dump them into their dumpsters, not even allowing the people to get medicine or personal belongings out. One representative called them a detriment, and this same representative stated that they created terror among local residents. So the city of Los Angeles would rather have human beings laying under tarps on cement sidewalks with people where people can prey on them and steal their belongings. They would rather have them doing that and referring to a secure location as a terror among local residents. They would rather do that. That is so sad. So, I'm talking about the Homeless Coalition, I'm talking about the Housing First Initiative. My apologies. I'm talking about the Housing First Initiative. The Housing First Initiative says that if you make a place to give the homeless their most basic needs, that you can then provide them with medical, psychological, and job assistance. And the lowest percentage, the lowest study that shows what they are accomplishing, shows a 75% rate. My goodness. 75 out of 100 homeless people that are reached with the Housing First Initiative are able to make it. That's wonderful. I discussed Eugene, Oregon and the Opportunity Village and how they are following that model. They are having great success. And unfortunately, I discussed what the city of Los Angeles is doing. When will people realize that Yahweh, that's God, I'm sorry, that's what I call him by his name, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to mess up the video, says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I doubt this representative of the city of LA would want to sleep on a sidewalk under a tarp. I pray for people in homelessness every day. Our congregation here in Mountain Home, we have rooms in the basement, and we take people in. I try to practice what I preach. Thank you for this opportunity to present this. Again, this is the first time I've ever done it by myself. So I hope this turns out, and I hope I get a good grade. Thank you, and have a good weekend.